Now is the time. You cannot wait. This is so important. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a little bit different than our normal video because I have been reading a lot of the comments on our past few videos, and I know a lot of you guys don't have the means or the ability possibly to grow your own food, or a lot of you guys may grow some of your food but you still need to go to the store. So today, stick with me because we're going to take a trip to our local grocery store. So hang on, let's go. So if some of you guys are keeping up with what's going on, I just heard about Smithfield, which is the largest pork producer. It shut down. All these processing plants that keep having these crazy fires and things happening to them, and they're shutting down. So it's really putting a strain on our food supplies. So who knows if we're going to have food, you know, maybe next week, the week after, and people are telling me, oh, I'm just going to wait, it'll be fine. And you think you got another week or so, but you know what? You may not. So I'm going to the grocery store today. It's a very hot day, very, very hot. 100 degrees, it's like the humidity and the dew point is so off the chart. So it's a good day to talk to you about some options at the store that you guys can do. I'm gonna give you some healthier options, and I'm gonna show you the labels, some difference between one thing or another thing, you know, better choices for you, things that are nutrient dense, things that you could put in your stores that you should start getting right now. And I know a lot of people say, well, I can't afford it. Every time you go, get something else. Get a little here, a little there. So we're going to the store. We're going to start off in the produce section because when we're talking about long-term storage, if you guys want to start getting preps and having food, this is going to be your perishable food. However, what I wanted to do is go over with you, there's a group called the Environmental Working Group, and it's sort of like a advocacy group that looks out after consumers. So basically telling you like what's in the water, if you're buying water, or what's in the food, or pesticide loads, things in your skincare items. And it's a wonderful organization. You can go to their website. It's called ewg.org. So you can check it out and just peruse and look at all their stuff. They've been around for like 30 years. So it's a really neat organization. Every year they come up with a list. So if you're going to go and buy these things at the grocery store, called the Dirty Dozen, which is going to talk about like the pesticide load in the produce that we're getting, the ones that really you might want to stay away from if you're going to go ahead and, you know, versus buying organic or conventional. And then they have the Clean 15, which is going to give you the ones that have the least amount of pesticide load. So if you need to buy conventional instead of organic, you can go there. So here I'm going to show you some options if you need to go to the store and buy some of these things if you're going to be canning or fermenting, which is my favorite way. So come on in, let's go over them. I have grapes and then there's strawberries. The first two here. Now, when you look at the Dirty Dozen, conventional strawberries are the worst. So they're sucking up everything, all the different chemicals and things that are in them. So I would never ever buy traditional or conventional strawberry. I would always get organic, grow my own, get them from a farmer that I knew, you know, how they took care of their things. So strawberries are #1 on the list in the Dirty Dozen. Now the next we have are grapes. Now grapes are another one that are in the Dirty Dozen. So I would definitely stay away from grapes. I always buy, if I need to buy them, get organic grapes or, you know, grow them. And we're growing them right now, but I'll get them from someone who does grow them naturally. And if you are going to do grapes, it's very important that you get a nice solution of vinegar and water and let your grapes soak in the water because there's a lot of pesticide residue on that. So right next to the strawberries and the grapes, we have a pineapple. Now pineapple is in the Clean 15. So if you need to get a pineapple and you don't have the ability to get an organic pineapple, you're much better to get just a regular conventional pineapple. Now today I was just going to focus on the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 here in the produce aisle. However, bananas aren't on either one of them, but when you look at the pesticide load, it says 35 pounds of fertilizer or pesticides per acre on a banana. I would always get the organic bananas versus the conventional. There's a little extra for you. Now over here, we have a conventional tomato. Tomatoes are on the dirty dozen. So if you guys are going and you're shopping at farmers market or you're doing community supported agricultural, know how they're taking care of their vegetables. Definitely try to get an organically raised tomato. But then when you look at avocados, I know everyone loves avocados. It's a wonderful fat. It's wonderful for everybody, children, adults, everybody. This is in the Clean 15, so you can go conventional with this. Over here, we have some broccoli, and we have some cabbage, and some cauliflower. So these three would be considered more a clean 15. And then if you're not able to get it in organic, oh, and here's asparagus too. That's one of the clean ones too. So you have all of them: asparagus, broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower. And as you guys know, I'm a big fermenter. So for you guys, you need to start preparing. If you come and get some of this fresh produce, you need to get it now so that you can prepare it, because if you ferment it, it'll last 6 months to a year in cold storage or even longer. So for me, I make a lot of sauerkraut, and actually cauliflower is one of the best things to ferment. It is wonderful. It keeps a great texture, as well as the asparagus. You can make them like pickles. Just put them in there, and asparagus makes a great ferment. So if you guys are wanting to know to ferment, you can check out and go to offgridwithdougandstacy.com, and I have my fermenting book there. It's being printed right now as we speak, so you can pre-order it right now and get it, and start fermenting, because you guys want to start to be prepared to have this food just in case you can't get this fresh produce in the next few months. So we are in the produce aisle because a lot of this stuff you're not going to be able to keep for long-term storage unless you preserve it. So fermenting it, like we're talking with the cabbage and the cauliflower. And then over here, as you can see, we have peppers, celery, there's hot peppers. Celery and peppers are still, they're considered under the dirty dozen. So I would definitely, if you can do it, go for the organic route on that one. And let's go over here and look at the onions. The onions are considered under the Clean 15. I'm just going to show you one more here, but we will put the list up on the screen so you guys can see all of them. And then the last one I want to show you are apples. Apples are in the dirty dozen. So I would make sure to buy organic apples if you are going to be buying them, if you're going to be preserving them, making applesauce, or you're going to be fermenting apple slices or whatever you're going to do. Apples are in the dirty dozen. So maybe organic might be your choice. Next thing I want to talk about is dried fruit, because dried fruit is very nutrient dense. It will last a long time in your stores. And we were just over in the produce aisle, and I was talking about grapes being, having a higher pesticide load. Well, if you look at the dried fruit, you're going to still get it in that. So, organic jumbo raisins. Perfect. So this would be something that would be great. You just need a nice little handful. And the nice thing about raisins, I like, because they don't put any added sugar on raisins. So this would be something I would definitely add, because you can add it to a lot of other meals that you have. That'll add a little sweetness, a little texture, add a little extra vitamins, because grapes are a wonderful source of nutrients. So now when we're looking at our dried fruits, a lot of them they will put sugar on. So as you can read here, the good old Ocean Spray cranberries. The ingredients are dried cranberries and sugar, which is 2 ingredients, which isn't bad. You know what they are. It's not made with high fructose corn syrup, but it does have some sugar on it, added sugar on it. So like if you would look at dates, let's see what that has on that one. That has chopped dates and dextrose. So they're adding something to that, which is crazy, because dates, you can find many packages of dates that are just dates. So you need to read your labels. It's really important. Let me see if they have any more here. Just read the back, because you'll look at 2 things next to each other and they can have total different things in it. It's just crazy. So read your labels, because you don't want all those added sugars. Now this one, this cranberry, let's read that one. Dried cranberries, sugar, and sunflower oil. And so those seed oils, they can go rancid. So I don't like to get any oils like that. So you're gonna have to do one. Cranberries are pretty good. I know a lot of places you can find organic cranberries, you can find them with no sugar because they are kind of have that kind of soury, tart kind of taste, and they work out well. But if I had to pick between this whole thing, I would go with the organic raisins. So if you're looking at stockpiling things that you need, I would highly recommend getting some raw apple cider vinegar, because this stuff will, it works for everything. It'll help if you have heartburn. You can drink it before. It helps increase the stomach acid if you drink it before your meals. Put it in some water. It's gonna help quench your thirst if you're thirsty. I use it on all my salad dressings. I use it in marinades. I mean, I use this for so much. It's great as a toner, like after you shave for men or for ladies, you can use it like that. It's good for cooling a sunburn. The apple cider vinegar is going to be helpful if you have bites or stings or anything like that. So detoxifying through your feet. I did a video about putting apple cider vinegar on your feet. It's wonderful. So it's got a lot of uses, as well as I wouldn't use the raw apple cider. This would be what I would use on my body internally or externally. But getting jugs of this, I use it as a hair rinse. You can use it to rinse and clean off your produce that we were just talking about. You can use it as a rinse. And this is what I do. I just kind of put a shot in some water, put the water in the bowl, and then I let my produce sit on it, and it just kind of cleans it off. So I use this a lot, as well as you can use it as a cleaning in your home on the floors. So I buy this by the jugs because it's so helpful, because you don't want all those toxic chemicals either in your home. So vinegar is a staple, and you can use it for so much, and it's not going to go bad. All right, so the next thing, we're here at the peanut butter area, and not all peanut butter is made the same, because you can look at one, like here. Let's look at Smucker's Natural. As you can see, it's separated, the oil's at the top, and when we read the ingredients, it's got peanuts and salt. That's it. Now let's look at Skippy. Roasted peanuts, hydrogenated vegetable oil, oh my goodness, cottonseed, soybean, or rapeseed oil, which are all genetically modified, and the hydrogenation process is very highly processed. I mean, this is terrible, not good. So if you had a choice between these two, this is definitely much better for you because it's a more natural product. They're putting a lot more chemicals into this one. Now, they don't have organic peanut butter here, but the number one thing to do, if you can, is to buy organic peanut butter, because peanuts, the shell is very permeable, and they have a very high pesticide load on them, and it absorbs into the peanuts. So if you can, and your store has it, always get the organic peanut butter. But a peanut butter is a great thing to store because it's going to give you some energy, it's got some protein, and then you can utilize this and it will last and kind of give you a little bit of nutrition. As well as, you know, you can do the almond butter too. Yeah. All right, I wanted to talk about beans real quick, because you have your canned beans, you have beans in a bag. I mean, there's all these different ways. Some people, you know, may not be able to go ahead and process beans if you get beans. So a lot of people will go with canned. So if I'm looking at all these beans, let's look at the chili hot beans by Brooks. Let's read it. It's got water cooked pinto beans. Then it's got high fructose corn syrup. Oh my gosh. Wheat flour. Soybean oil, that's a no-go. I know a lot of people want to make chili, but if you had some chili powder and some garlic and some onions, you know, you can just go ahead and get the beans, get some pinto beans, and you can make it from scratch. So get some organic beans. Or, I prefer getting things in glass jars. Look and see if you can find your things in a glass jar, something like this. That would be a better choice. Great Northern beans, and water and salt, and there's a little cane sugar, which is much more natural than high fructose corn syrup. Okay? And of course, your best way to do it would be just buying your beans in bulk, and then you can go ahead and put them in some, you know, you can put them in some mason jars and get some little oxygen absorbers, and you can just go ahead and store them and then use them, soak them overnight and use them when you need them. But beans are also another staple that would be wonderful, that are going to be high in nutrition, and then it's going to give you the energy and things that you need. And it stores a long time. So now another thing that you can do for your stores that's amazing is rice. Rice is one of my favorites. I love rice. I love all kinds of rice. I like the wild rice and the black rice, and I like brown rice and white rice. Same thing with rices. You need to look and see what the rice is, because I grew up on this stuff when I was younger. The Uncle Ben's, it's enriched. So when you read it, see where it says enriched? Enriched means that they basically took everything out. It's highly processed, and then they're going to put synthetic stuff, vitamins, back into it. So it really, there's not much to it. Like a jasmine rice, and you got to read your labels, guys, because look, what does it say there? Enriched. And it also, they put the little non-GMO thing on there to make it look even better. And non-GMO is good, but some things they can't even GMO. They just put it on there. So you need to read everything. So this is enriched. This one isn't. I don't think. I gotta make sure. Nope. So that's not enriched. So this would be my choice. Like a jasmine or a basmati rice. So here. So these white rices, a jasmine and basmati would be a very fine choice. So the next one is brown rice. Here's long grain brown rice. This is fine. The only difference is the brown rice does not last as long in long-term storage, because the brown rice has more oil in it. It doesn't make it bad, because brown rice is wonderful. It's one of my favorites, but it just doesn't last quite as long as your white rices, like your basmati or your jasmine, just as long as it's not enriched, remember. So this is a fine one. If you want to add this to your stores, just remember it's not going to last for years and years like your white rice, because if you keep your white rice, you know, in a cool place, you know, away from moisture and all that, I mean, it can last 25 years, I mean 30 years. So brown rice is also a good one. It just doesn't last as long. All right, this is the big no, no, no. It's cheap and everyone eats the heck out of it. I mean, it's crazy, and it is so terrible for you. This is going to give you sickness and disease, and eventually you're going to start feeling bad. This is something that I am so against. Throw it away if you have it, is ramen noodles. The reason why they taste so wonderful, and everyone is like, oh my gosh, these are so good, I love them, and they're cheap. Some people are on a budget, yes, but you're putting this food inside of you, and it's causing you to get sick and be sick. Let's look at the ingredients on this one. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get really sick by reading all these. I can't even read them all. This is basically a chemical cocktail of death. Literally. I mean, everything in it. There's natural flavors, there's MSG, TBHQ, which causes like liver problems. It causes you to go blind. Causes a lot of eye problems. It's like a neurotoxin. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. Hydrolyzed soy proteins, yeast extract. So it has every single chemical that they can put in something. Usually they only pick one of them. Soybeans, and there's things I can't even pronounce. This is so bad for you. But it's going to trick your brain because there's so many excitotoxins in it to think it tastes good. But this is just basically empty calories and chemicals that are going to harm your health. So why not just get some? I'll show you what's next. So instead of ramen noodles, why not just store up on some noodles? Because really they aren't that expensive. Now some people may be gluten intolerant, so I really like this brand, Tinkyata. This one is a really good one. Some of the brown rice noodles that you get very mushy, and if you can have access to this brand, it's wonderful because it tastes amazing and it does not get like mushy. So I really highly recommend this one. As well as you can get your noodles made with lentils or different types of legumes. So that could be an option. And you have your chickpeas. And then let's look over here. If you're going ahead and getting pasta and you want to do for long-term storage, these store very well. You can put them in like a 5-gallon bucket, get a bunch of pasta and put it in there and just store it for you. So if you're doing the choice between the ramen noodles or this, just do this, and then you can put some seasoning and stuff on top of it, maybe some butter or oil, and there you go. Much better choice than ramen noodles. This is my favorite part of the store and one of my favorite, most nutrient-dense foods in the whole wide world. And I have so much of this in our root cellar. And you guys might want to start storing this food in your long-term storage too, because it is so nutrient-dense. It has calcium in it, vitamins and minerals. I mean, all these wonderful things, your potassium, your magnesium, zinc, selenium, all these things that the human body needs. And in a time of need, when you're going to be needing your omega-3 fatty acids to help with inflammation, to help with your immune system, and you're not able to get a lot of these foods, this is so powerful and so nutrient dense that it could like save your life. I give it to my dogs, I give it to my cats, Doug and I have it all the time, and that is sardines. So don't turn away. Some of you are like, ooh, gross. These sardines are wonderful. And the thing is like if you would look like at this brand, and you look at this brand, and you look at this brand, they're all different. So maybe you try one and then try another one and you might like it. Like this one, there's a bunch of little teeny ones in here. This one here, there's like big fillets in there. These are really good. These are one of my favorites actually. And these are little teenier ones. And they're all different. Sometimes you're gonna get littler ones, bigger ones. Some of them have the heads on, some of them don't have the heads on. You just don't wanna get them where they have a lot of the sauces. And a lot of them are in the soybean oil, which is genetically modified, and then they'll put a lot of chemicals and things, so you have to read the labels. This one is made in the soybean oil, and they have artificial flavor. So artificial flavor is not good. So I would not get this one. I usually get the ones that are in, here's one in extra virgin olive oil with lemon. So this is a yes, so I would get that. I need my magnifying glass. If you like fish, you'll love these. I have so many recipes. They're in my Cooking with a Smile cookbook. I put a bunch of them in there. If you put them, like make linguine with red clam sauce, doesn't that sound great? Just substitute the clams for the sardines. Easy, huh? You can do eggs. Go ahead and put some eggs and put some of these sardines in there and go ahead and put a little hot sauce. It tastes amazing, like scrambled eggs with sardines. Like you'd make tuna salad. You know, here's tuna salad, or tuna. And so here's a nice albacore tuna in a little, and this is easy storage somewhere. You can get some of these, get the sardines, crumble them up, just like you'd make a tuna salad, and it tastes the same. It tastes great. I like to put my sardines on a pizza. Taste amazing. So those are some ways that you can really utilize your sardines and they taste fantastic. So I like this Wild Planet brand because it says here, it says it's hand packed, no water, oil, or filler added to it. You don't have to drain it. So here you go. It's got a nice pop top if you don't have a can opener. And for a lot of you guys storing your food, if you don't have a can opener or you don't have the strength to, these little pop tops work well. So I like the Wild Planet. And the one thing that is just amazing, besides it being so nutrient dense for you, and you're gonna get so much bang for your buck with the sardines. So on the shelf life on sardines, like this is the December of 2024, March of 2025. I have some for 2026. So they do last a long time. And then, let's see. Another one, pink salmon. This would be a good store. And you're gonna get a lot of nutrition. That's July 25th, 2026. I mean, look at that, we're in 2022 now. That's pretty good. So these canned fishes are a wonderful way to get that nutrition and add a lot of, you know, bang for your buck and nutrient-dense food that you can put into your stores. So definitely, you guys don't want to wait. You don't want to wait. Just think that nothing's going to happen. Be prepared because you'll eventually eat it some way. You know, the good thing is that maybe this doesn't happen and you know, grocery prices go down or we don't have supply chain issues. I mean, just be prepared. But these are wonderful foods to add to your stores, especially sardines. They're Stacy's pick. And here's another one of my picks for long-term storage. You can use it for a lot of things. I mean, you can make it into a casserole, you can make it into dessert, cookies, you can make it into a meal, which is oatmeal. Now, not all oatmeal is created equal either. So let me show you. Okay. All right, I have 3 types of oatmeal here. I have the quick oats, I have the steel cut oats, and I have just regular old-fashioned oats. Whenever I do oatmeal or buy oatmeal, I always try to buy organic because a lot of the oats can be sprayed with the glyphosate. So I always try to buy organic. Now, if you're looking into storage, out of these three, the steel cut, the old-fashioned oats, regular oats, or the quick oats, the one that is going to be the least stable for long-term storage is your quick oats. You know, if you're just going to store them, they'll be good, you know, for maybe 9 months, a year or so. And then if you look at your regular oatmeal, you know, that'll be good for a few years. You're going to keep it dry and out of moisture and keep it cool. But the one that's going to be the rock star out of them all are going to be your steel cut oats. Those can last many, many years. 5, 6 years, 7. All right, here's a little bonus one here since I just passed it. Here's some vodka. So if you're interested in making extracts or making tinctures, medicinal type things, this might be something you want to put in your preps. Who knows, for bartering with other people. You never know. So this is something that's never going to go bad, and you can always use for something. And then if you want to learn more about making tinctures or extracts, I've done a few videos on that. You can find that, or you know, there's tons of stuff on it. If you have any books or look on the internet, you can find lots of stuff about that. So I would recommend possibly even getting some vodka. So now we're in the oil section, and right here is virgin coconut oil. So this would be something you might want to stockpile too. It's wonderful. I like it in my baked goods, so if I'm baking, it's a good oil to add to that. I use it for so many other things, like you could put it in your hair. It's a good conditioner for your hair. I use it if you didn't have toothpaste. It's great just to use as a toothpaste. I also use it to oil pull. So I put a spoonful in my mouth and I swish it around for like 10-15 minutes every day. It's good to pull out toxins, good for your gum health, helps with your teeth, the health of your teeth. It's just amazing. I use that every day, so I can't live without this. For my teeth health, I use it in my deodorant, as well as in my cooking. So you can use this if you're going to make some flatbreads or, you know, anything. You can use it as a wonderful saturated fat, and the shelf life is the coconut oil has a long shelf life too. So right now I want to finish the video over here with the canning jars, because a couple years ago, what was it? You couldn't find canning jars, and then everyone kind of started getting canning jars. Well, now they're harder to find. So if you don't have them, or maybe you're not ready or haven't learned about canning or preserving or fermenting your food, now is the time. You cannot wait. This is so important that you need to start doing this and preserving your food. Going to the produce section, going to a farmer's market, you know, whatever you can do what you can, do a little bit at a time, do what you can where you are to start preserving some of your things. Even like we were over in the bean section, getting some beans, you can cook some beans, you can can some beans, learn how to can beans so that you have some of these foods already, you know, in your arsenal, in your pantry that you can have if you get hungry, because who knows what is going to happen. Always be prepared. So get some types of these jars. I store tons of my dry goods. Like if I'm growing my herbs, I put my herbs in there with some oxygen absorbers, and then that way I have all my things in mason jars. You know, I keep them in a cool place, and then that way I'll have lots of stuff for the future when I need it. Just take little baby steps, and every time you go to the store, get a few of these items just to help start stockpiling what you need. So you guys, go shopping. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, because we do read all the comments, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next one. So get shopping, get those pantries stocked up. See you soon.